that wasn't the life the three of us were looking to live. And we thought, there are more people like us who are good writers, who have a story to tell, who also don't feel like dancing on TikTok and maintaining or building this platform. And we got it. We knew that it's a business. Publishing is a business. They have to sell books to make money. And we get that. And so we get that was a business. We just didn't like that. And so
Mhm.
instead of complaining, though it felt good to complain and moan and groan and kind of wallow in our misery of not getting published, we decided to sort of funnel that energy into something positive.
You are now listening to the podcast where authors inspire listeners to become authors, the Going North Podcast. I'm your host, certified self-leadership trainer, best-selling author, and book enthusiast, Dom Brightman. And you're going to be listening to a different author that will inspire you to join the business of immortality, known as authorship. Now let the fun begin. Today's episode is sponsored by both books, Going North, Tips and Techniques to Advance Yourself, and the follow-up bestseller, Stay the Course, The Elite Performer's 7 Secret Keys to Sustainable Success. Head over to Amazon.com, pick up both books. They are available in a trifecta of paperback, audio, and ebook. Cop all three of both and be on the lookout for another book from yours truly to help podcasters succeed. Now let's get on with today's episode. And today on the Highlight Reel Builder for authors known as the Going North Podcast, we got another super special, awesome human for you today, courtesy of one fabulous website known as podcastguest.com. Wonderful site where if you're an aspiring podcast guest, you get to set up a one-page media sheet for podcast hosts to check you out. Heck, maybe even business owners and other business groups and entrepreneurs too to hire to speak and whatnot. But also you get to have your podcast blasted to thousands of folks via email at least once every 6 months, and that's basically free publicity. And we found a diamond in the rough, y'all, because this wonderful podcast finally met that rotation and got hundreds upon hundreds of freaking desirees to be on the podcast. And we got one of the gems who made it through the haystack. She's a wonderful needle because she's not only a wonderful needle, metaphorically speaking, she's an award-winning author as well as a mom, a wife, copywriter, editor, and one of the founders, since there's 3 founders of this wonderful group known as the Unknown Authors Club. So let's give it up for the well-known, radiant, and the wonderful, magnificent Rachael Mitchell. How you doing today, Rachael?
Wow, well, I didn't really feel like you were talking about me with all those nice things that you said, but I mean, I guess I sort of am those things minus like the wonderful and all those things. I'm an editor, I'm a copywriter, now a publisher. And you know what? I am doing great, and I'm truly honored to get to be on your podcast today.
Oh, don't worry, you made it through the muck and the miry clay, as some would say back in the day. Yeah, for a reason, a major special, dang gummit. That's right, indeed. How many pitches I get a freaking week? My
Well,
God.
then I'm even more honored to get to talk to you. If you get millions of people who want to talk, and I get to be the lucky one today. So thank you very much for kind of listening to our story and letting me kind of share what we've been up to.
I like you did there. Good old pun unintended, but intended. Up to north. That's what she's up to.
100%. Totally.
But hey, before we dive into the nobodies that aren't really nobody, they're known as the Unknown Authors Club, we got to talk about the radio Rachael dates. My goodness, as with all introductions, they're not allowed to be 35 days long, and I probably only covered 35 seconds on what makes Rachael Rachael. So mind filling in any cavities on makes you the wonderful you that you are today?
Well, you sort of nailed it. I would say that I'm like a Jane of all trades. So yes, I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I have a dog, so I do all that stuff. But then I have found myself in this writing and publishing space for on a bunch of different layers, and it's been very interesting. And so technically I own 3 businesses, and that keeps me really busy. I'm a copywriter, so I do copywriting for small businesses. That's one of my businesses. The other one is a small independent publishing company called Blue Hat Publishing. And then the third is the Unknown Authors Club. And that was born out of complete frustration with traditional publishing.
So is writing always your main squeeze, even since a younger, taught version of Rachel?
Oh, it's a good question. It's funny because I didn't expect to be a writer. I didn't even intend to or want to really. I wasn't a kid that, wrote. I mean, I did. I wrote a lot, but I didn't think, "Oh, I want this to be my career." And I was at college, and the day before I had to declare my major, I called my mom and I was like, "Mom, I have no idea what I want my major to be." And my mom said, "Well, what classes have you liked the most?" And I had this absolutely spectacular English professor named Dr. Davis at Wheaton College in Wheaton, Illinois. And he had been I mean, every class I learned something and I was inspired and I was challenged, and I don't think I was a very good writer at all, but I ended up declaring English as my major, and I took every single class he taught. I rearranged for the next 2.5 years. I rearranged my schedule every semester to take everything he taught. So I'd come into the class and I'd be like, "Hey, so what's this class about?" And I didn't even know what the word pedagogy meant, but he was like, "Well, this is a pedagogy class." I'm like, "I don't even know what that is." And he's like, "Well, I guess you'll find out." So I would just I basically became an English major because I admired and respected him so much. And then ironically, I never thought this would happen. I got a job as a copywriter for Nordstrom here in Seattle, and did that for a while and kind of learned the craft. And at first, I mean, I don't know if I was any good at it, but I gained some incredible experience that, again, like, I still didn't consider myself a writer. And I did some more little freelance things kind of. Then I had kids and I didn't work that much. And then finally my kids got to a spot where they could kind of handle themselves. And I said, "Okay, I think it's time to do something." And I figured writing was probably the thing I had the most experience with. I still did not call myself a writer, but I launched my own freelance writing business. So I write website copy and marketing emails, and sometimes like real estate agent remarks and blog posts and product copy, whatever people need for their businesses. And I think after a year or two of doing that, I finally said, "Okay, I'm a writer. If I'm getting paid for this, then I am a writer." But so I feel like I've sort of come to it through the back door a little bit. And then publishing, I feel like I've come to that through the back door too. It's been very interesting.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, indeed. It's right, indeed. It's right, indeed. Sometimes you just can't really go through the front door. You just gotta find the other way around. Go through the back door, indeed. That's right,
Yeah.
indeed. Gotta do a little cave exploring.
Yes, totally. And have felt that especially with publishing, because the front door has not been open to me. And I would say, unless you have a million followers on TikTok, the door of publishing is not going to be open to you. And so you either have to sort of finagle your way into it, or you just have to find the back door. And I felt like I have found the back door, and I'm kind of busting that door open for other unknown authors and people who love to write and who have a story to tell and words to say. And I'm saying, "Hey, everyone, here's the back door. Come on in, because you're all welcome back here." We don't need the gatekeepers to let us in the front door. We can just help ourselves to the back door.
There you go. That's right, indeed. It's the buffet now, folks. Help yourself to the back door.
Yeah, absolutely.
So my goodness, so what was it like making a switch from getting that English major degree, getting that wonderful degree to copywriting? Because it's totally a different
It's
skill.
totally different. It was fun because I realized, oh, cool, I get paid. I was a product copywriter for Nordstrom, so I was writing the descriptions of sweaters and jewelry and shoes, and I thought it was the best because if I could pack enough words into one sentence, then I was done. So I could, I would write 70 items a day or something, and I would just bang them out. And though the sentence that I was structuring was, carefully crafted with the most descriptive words I could use to help the customer, touch and feel that garment, even though they were not touching or feeling it. It was so much easier than writing a 5-page paper on some random poem that I had read. So I really enjoyed it because I've realized I like succinct writing, and I like simple, I like straightforward and plain. So I like crafting that type of copy, and I like reading that. I mean, I think one of my greatest complaints when I have to edit somebody's manuscript or whatever is like, oh my gosh, too many words. I think you could say all you wanted to say in a way shorter amount of time. So I I don't love tons and tons and tons of verbose words. I like simple writing. So copywriting, I mean, I fell into it. I did not expect that that was what I was going to like, but I looked at the job description and I was totally qualified for it, and I thought, well, I could apply for this job, and then if it sounds terrible, I won't do it. But weirdly, it sounded awesome, and I mean, I loved it. So, anyways, yeah, I like writing copy. So it translates to I write a lot of the back of book copy for the books that I end up reading. And I think I'm pretty good at it because it's succinct. It sums up. It gives the reader a clue of what this book is about without telling them every single thing that happens in the book. Why would you want to buy it if I tell you everything that happens? So I love giving hints, and I love alluding to things on the back of the book, but not telling you everything. And it is kind of funny to see how product copy or copywriting really has translated to back of book copy.
Yep, it's definitely true indeed. Yeah, definitely true indeed. One of those underrated things that are mentioned for folks and who aspire to have their own book published, especially if they go the indie author route, because it's something folks don't think about. Because a lot of folks be like, "Oh God, I have to actually put stuff on the back of the book." Like, "Oh darn, it has to be copy." Oh man, what's copy like? I know there's a copy machine. Like, can I do that? It's like, no, you can't do a copy machine back
You,
in.
you can't put a copy machine on the back of your book. No, sir, you can't. And people want, I think, when an author is so close to their story and their words, it's hard to back that up and say, okay, what is this book actually about? I think it does take skill, and it takes good, like, summarizing skills to be able to craft the back of a book so that someone, the first thing someone sees is the cover, and they go, oh, I love that cover. Okay, what is this book about? And they pick it up and they turn it over. And if they have to read 4 single spaced paragraphs about this book, you are going to lose them so fast. But if the copy is engaging and intriguing and it gives you hints, but it doesn't give you everything, that reader's going to know, like, ooh, this sounds like a book I would love. Or, you know what? I don't think this book sounds like something I would like, but, my sister would love it or my mom would love it. And so, because ultimately we want the correct audience reading the books that we write. So you have to have, I mean, I am a firm believer in good back of book copy.
Yeah, because hey, you need it, especially for the book cover. Indeed, it's like, hey, Don't judge a book by its cover. Go ahead and keep lying
Yeah.
to people with that line. It's like, we judge about the phone. You got to pick it up off the shelf for a reason. You're going to check it out and be like, hey, what does this thing say? All right, cool. That's what I'm looking for. And it's like, hey, if it's not good, then they're like, back on the shelf you go, buddy. Shelf help for you.
Totally. Yep. Yeah, you can learn a lot by a good cover and dynamic words on the front and the back. And, it even though we shouldn't judge a book by a cover, we all do. And I actually think that's okay.
Yeah, exactly. That's right, indeed. Because the books could be judging us as like, this human doesn't need me. That's right, indeed. I'm copy number 353. They don't know how good this content is I got within me. It'll change their life, an extra 10 grand in their pocket, but they're lazy. Watch them go to the romance section. Just watch.
Yes.
Oh, man, if books could talk. Oh, my goodness. So you got this fabulous unknown authors club. So what led to that?
Well, it's a great question. I was in a writing cohort. We were learning how to write. It was a fast and furious 1 month learning how to write a book proposal. And there were 5 women. We paid to be in the group, and we were kind of being led through this 30-day process of writing a book proposal. And through that, I became good friends, in particular with 2 of the women, Leslie Stewart and Jody Coles. And the 3 of us, after we had these amazing book proposals that we were gonna, just quickly, push on to some agents and get signed and then just get this huge book deal. As we started in on that process, the 3 of us kept in touch. And as we started in on that process, I was getting rejected left and right from agents. I was absolutely lucky enough to I landed an agent, and the 3 of us, so we kept talking and talking, and they were trying to do things and they couldn't get an agent, and we kept talking and talking, and my agent started, sending my stuff out to publishers, and I kept getting rejection after rejection after rejection. And the conversation shifted from like, this is so dumb, because 99.9% of my rejections were based on my lack of platform. Wow, beautifully written book. Oh, what an amazing idea. How creative. This is so great, blah, blah, blah. But this author, essentially is unknown. Or, we could never market this book because, this author only has, a handful of followers on Instagram. And the more the 3 of us talked about that, and the more we just decided, like, this isn't even how we want to live. We don't want to be someone who dances on TikTok and has influence of what people should buy on Amazon. And that wasn't the life the 3 of us were looking to live. And we thought, there are more people like us who are good writers, who have a story to tell, who also don't feel like dancing on TikTok and maintaining or building this platform. And we got it. We knew that it's a business. Publishing is a business. They have to sell books to make money, and we get that. And so, we know that, sure, an influencer who, has millions of followers, yeah, if she writes a book or he writes a book, they're going to sell a bunch of copies of it because they have, people built in. So we get that was a business. We just didn't like that. And so
Mhm.
instead of complaining, though it felt good to complain and moan and groan and kind of wallow in our misery of not getting published, we decided to sort of funnel that energy into something positive. So we decided, hey, at first we didn't really know what it was. We were like, let's build a community. Let's build something, and let's be the Unknown Authors Club, and we'll be a safe haven for, a safe harbor, a shelter for authors like us who don't have a giant platform, but who are talented writers and who, feel that creative burden and want to uh, have people read their stuff. And so we decided, okay, you know what we could do is we know enough people like that right now, or we could each write an essay about what it feels like to be unknown. And let's make a little anthology. So we did. So a year ago in October, we published our first book, and it's called The Life of the Unknown Author. And what we did is there were 15 authors and everyone wrote an essay and they were all different. I mean, I thought, oh man, we're going to have 10 of the exact same essays. Everyone's going to write the same thing. And of course, no, we have 15 very beautiful and unique essays. And we compiled it into this anthology, and we asked every author if they would buy 10 copies on publication date. So, we knew right off the bat, oh, good for us. We'd sell 150 copies. And truthfully, I don't actually know how many we ended up selling altogether, but we were very proud and we learned a ton from doing all of that. And it went, kind of straight to Amazon. And we had a very strategic launch for it. And we were so proud. And I thought, great project. We did it. Awesome. And then my two friends, because they have the vision and I'm like the wet blanket of the group, they were like, hey, I think we I think we should start a publishing company. And I dragged my feet for like 4 weeks. They were like, hey, like, what do you think about this idea? I'm like, oh, I don't know. I had been building my copywriting business and I felt like I was like very busy. I was very busy. I had lots of clients and I thought, I don't publishing company. Like, how do you even do that? What do you even do? Thankfully, they're way smarter and have better vision than me. So sure enough, they drug me along and I did it. And we officially started the Unknown Authors Club to not just, support unknown authors, but actually get their books published. So we don't charge very much. And I would say we do have certain genres we sort of gravitate towards. Like, we probably won't be publishing any like horror books or harlequin romance novels at all. You won't see that coming out of the Unknown Authors Club, but we have, I mean, truly had the honor of publishing some fantastic stories. So we started in October of 22, and right, yes, because that was a year ago, and we have published 5 books so far, and we have another 4 by early May. We will have published another 4 books. And so we're small, but we do high quality work. We are passionate about what we're doing, and it feels really good to be doing something positive in the face of something that felt so discouraging. And you just feel like a loser when you get rejected all the time. And then you realize, oh gosh, like, I truly am nobody. No one's gonna, people just love to listen to people with influence, and I don't have any influence. So therefore, I'm quote unquote disqualified to say something. And I think at the core of it, the 3 of us believe, no, we're actually not. We actually do have things of value and worth to say, and so do other unknown authors. And we're gonna be the ones to put those words out into the world. So we're very, very proud of what we're doing. And even though we're small, we don't care.
So I'm talking about indeed, because yeah, it's really an advantage, to be honest, that you 3 ladies decided to follow through with that wonderful idea. Because the thing is, like, yeah, like you mentioned, like all the rejection from folks is like, hey, you gotta have a platform, it's gotta be big, we don't want investor money. Somebody who's got like 100 or 500 Twitter followers or TikTok followers or whatever, but it's like by the time you get a big enough platform, and if you're making a pretty decent good income by then from your books already, it's like you really kind of don't need a publishing house.
It's true. It's totally true. And I was thinking today about, like, if I was to get a traditionally a deal with a traditional publisher and publish my book, and if it sold 1,000 copies, it would be considered a total failure, right? It would be a failure of the publishing company, a failure of everything. We'd all be embarrassed and sad. But if we sold 1,000 copies of a book that we published independently with the Unknown Authors Club, or now my other publishing company, it would be a roaring success, and the author would have made thousands of dollars off that book. And I think that's so weird that that is the reality that we're living in right now. But my friend Jody always says, this is a great time to be an author. This is a great time to be a writer because there are so many options, and the gatekeepers are not the only ones letting people in and out. There is the back door, and right now we hold the key to the back door, and we have busted those doors wide open. And a lot of people are, experiencing getting their books published. So, and anyone can do it. I think Amazon has 10,000 books a day or a month or something that get published, and that's a lot of words, and I'm kind of allergic to all those words. But
Mhm.
if you want to do some independent publishing, yeah, you could do it yourself, or you could hire a small independent publisher to help you, really put forth a high quality cover, a high quality back of book. We've already hit on that. Let's spiff up the words. Let's make the story as good and, as it possibly can be. And so anybody can do it themselves, but I like to think that the Unknown Authors Club can help it be something you'll be very, very proud of when it is published. And you'll have 3 cheerleaders cheering you on the whole time, helping it become the best it can be.
That's what I'm talking about, indeed. So, what are you all excited about over the next 6 to 12 months about the wonderful publishing house?
I think what we're there's lots of things that we're excited about, but what I love is that we're very agile, so we can hear an idea or we can come up with an idea and we can sort of test it out. So, like, we've been talking for a while about, like, hey, let's do audiobooks also. Let's have our authors, how would we do that? How would we get them recorded? Okay. And when we get them recorded, can we find someone to do the editing? And so there's a lot, there's that one. Leslie, we've discovered, is a master at cover design. She's so good at designing covers. So she has, like, done this little spin-off of her own business of being a cover designer. And, so we sort of want to explore that further. And we're looking for more authors to publish. And so I think we're just excited to sort of see where it goes, because we don't bring an agenda. We don't bring this, huge budget of, like, numbers that we have to meet. I think we're enjoying watching the process unfold. And I don't know if there's anything more satisfying than seeing someone come to us with an idea and say, hey, I have 10 chapters of a book that I've been writing, and I just need someone to help us get it over the finish line. And to take that, and then, 3 months later or 5 months later, to see that author so proud of themselves because they're holding this beautiful book that they've written. And I think we want more of that. We want to experience that pride along with an author, to say, hey, we've done this, but really you've done this, and we've just sort of, bumped you along the road, and we've gotten you there. And isn't this book so good that you did? And so we have a lot of little things that we're exploring. We want to be better, and we want to improve, and we want to be good at what we do. We also want to give very individualized and personalized service to each of the authors that we work with. So we'll probably stay pretty small because we feel like, if we had 25 authors at the same time, we wouldn't be able to give the type of service and quality touches that we want to do, and which we feel like is sort of the backbone of who we are.
So I'm talking about days. I'm talking about days. Some more books are coming, y'all. That's right, indeed. Soon going to be called the Known Authors Club. That's right, indeed. A club of folks who are known, dang gummit. That's right, indeed.
Yeah,
They're no longer unknown unknowns or known unknowns. They're going to be known knowns.
exactly. Whether they have a giant TikTok following or not, we want them to be known because we will, we believe that they're writing things that are worth reading. And when things are worth reading, hopefully people will find them and enjoy them. And then you're right, that they will become known authors.
That's what I'm talking about, indeed. So, my goodness, since you're a busy family lady, being a wife and a mom, and also entrepreneur, what would you consider your biggest setback in business that actually became your biggest setup for success?
That is a good question. And I would say, it's kind of the obvious answer, but I would say that me not getting the giant publishing deal and getting, to go on Oprah, 5 minutes after I got my publishing deal and then selling 1 million copies, that led to so many amazing relationships, so much learning. I've learned so much in the last couple years that I would have never learned if my mom hadn't said, "Hey, I think you should major in English." It all started there. So there have been many failures and missteps along the way that I think have led to knowledge and led to the path of right where I am. Totally unexpected. Did not expect to be where I am right now, but I wouldn't trade it for anything. The friendships that I've developed with Leslie and Jody and the life that we've shared and the laughter and even the tears, has not all been this like easy, perfect road, but I think we all know the value of showing up and saying, you know what, I think this is important and I think it's going to be hard, but we're going to do it. And, not getting a publishing deal from a traditional publisher, though it felt and it feels, I still have an agent. We're still, trying to sell my book to somebody, and it still feels like a failure. And my agent and I are like, what is the deal? Why does this keep happening? But it has led to so many other amazing things that I really wouldn't trade it for anything.
Yeah, there we go. She wouldn't trade it for anything, yo. That's right, indeed. So if you got one of those holographic Charizard, she's not trading it. Nope. Metaphorically, not trading it. Nope.
Nope. I'm keeping Charizard. That one's worth some dough.
And we ain't just talking about bread either.
Exactly.
So my goodness, so since you're out and about promoting the good work of the Unknown Authors Club to make it the Known Authors Club in a way, is there a question that you wish folks would ask you more often when you're doing interviews like this?
That's a great question. I think the question that we love to be asked, because I think we provide the author the relief, is sort of like, okay, so how do we do this? Or how do I do that? And we don't have all the answers of every single thing, but there's something so satisfying seeing an author sort of take a deep sigh of relief, knowing that they're going to be taken care of. Their words are going to be handled with care. They're going to have a beautiful cover, a beautiful back of a book, a beautiful interior layout. How the book looks on the inside is important. And for them to ask us, like, can you help me? Can you I don't really know what to do. And then to have the confidence to say, yeah, I think we can actually help you. And I think we believe in your book and I think it's going to be good. So I love it when people come to us and say, I really have no idea what I'm doing, but here's what I've done so far. Can you help me? And for us then to sort of pick that up and help carry it across the finish line is, I think that's my favorite thing, because I get giddy because I know we can, and I love that.
That's what I'm talking about. Indeed. Giddy like giddy up.
Yes.
Right, indeed. That's right, indeed. Well, my goodness, fun question for you. So, if your fabulous book, The Life of an Unknown Author, an anthology on writing and publishing for some of the best authors you haven't heard, or should I say, haven't read yet, if that book were a
Yes.
food, what would it be and why?
Oh. You know what? That would just be a very light appetizer. It would be like a little piece of cucumber with a little splotch of, I don't know, some kind of dip on it. Because I feel like we were just wading into this, sort of trying it out, seeing if we could do it. We weren't thinking, hey, let's be a publishing company when we, got 15 authors together to write that book. But since then, we've rolled out some serious full meal deals. And so we started with a little cucumber with that book. But I mean, since then, both Leslie and Jody, we have published their books. And I don't know if I've ever been more proud of two books. Jody wrote a nonfiction novel that's called Cold Turkey, that is hilarious, relatable, fun. I love it. And then Leslie wrote, I guess I would say it's a memoir, and it's some of her stories. She is a master storyteller, and hers is called A Little Bit About a Lot of Things. And we've published a couple other books, but those two stand out in my mind as, like, if you want a steak or a big meal, like a baked potato with a steak and then a salad on the side, those are two books that I would say that is your full meal. So we started with a cucumber appetizer, and then you got to feast on some serious food with those two books.
That's what I'm talking about. Days of serious food, y'all. Some good old SNS, some steak and salad. That's right, indeed. That's right,
Yep.
indeed. Getting all the nutrients, y'all. You love to see it, indeed. You love to say it. So, my goodness, so coming down to the magical question that every guest gets to receive, and that is, if you're to wake up tomorrow and you were 25 again, but you're still in the current year, what advice would you give to yourself?
Oh man. I would tell myself, don't get caught up in social media. I'm so grateful that I'm old enough that social media wasn't really a thing when I was in college, because I think I would have made a total fool out of myself. I would have told myself, like, continue to take classes from Dr. Davis if you can, because I probably would do college all over again to just continue to learn what I had been exposed to. I would probably tell myself to take a few more writing classes, because I would have needed them. I would need them today if I writing and editing. I wasn't thinking writing when I was in college, and I think I could use a few more writing and editing skills. So, and I would just say have fun, but don't spend too long on screens and social media, because I don't think it's good for us.
Yep, that's right, indeed. That screen time is real. Back in the
Sure
day, it was
is.
just TV. Now
Yep.
it's on your phone, it's on your dang computer, laptop, whatever. You got
Yep.
screens everywhere, and they're probably even more
Everywhere.
dangerous now.
Yeah, they're just it's too much. It's too much. So I don't even, this is a total side note tangent, but I don't like going, there's so many places now even that to go out to eat, and they have TVs there. And I'm like, why is there a TV? Everyone's on their phone, and there's TVs in your establishment, whether you're getting coffee or you're, eating dim sum with your family. And you're like, I do not need to see a TV right now. I'm just trying to connect with people face to face, and it's distracting. And I just don't think it's good for us. So I'll probably never be a known author because of that stance that I have on TV and media and social media, but I don't really care.
So don't like the one-eyed monster, the one-eyed technology monster staring at you, trying to hypnotize you. Think about negativity if you so choose.
Exactly. No, no. I think we're made for relationship. I think we're made for face-to-face interaction. And so the more of that we do, I think the happier and healthier we'll end up being.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right, indeed. That's right, indeed. That's right, indeed. But hey, name of the game is, though, if you got Rachel on your screen, it means you're getting good screen time. So for those who need to get that good screen time metaphorically and keep up with all the stuff that you're doing, as well as the Unknown Authors Club, and heck, maybe if they want to join the club, what's the best way for folks to do so?
That would be awesome. So we do have a website, theunknownauthors.club.com. And ironically, we are on Instagram, so you can find us there. We're terrible at posting on Instagram, but there's a way to get in touch with us on our website. And yeah, if you are an author that has struggled to find a right home and, continue to get rejected by, traditional publishing, and you're looking for a small publishing house that will do a great job at a decent price. And if you're a good fit for us, then, we'd love at least to consider, more unknown authors, and then point you in a different direction. If we aren't the right fit, now that we've been doing it for a while, we have other friends in the arena that could be a better fit than us if we're not the right one. So, yeah.
Well, there you have it, folks. That's right, indeed. And don't worry, there won't be any secret branding tattoos on your bottom. You'll have to take once you join the club. Don't worry. We won't tell them
Nope.
about that part. That's right, indeed.
No,
It's
yeah,
unknown
let's keep
for a
that part a
reason.
secret. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
y'all thought
brother.
it was just Victoria. Nah, fam, it's a whole society. It's like Fight Club.
Yes.
No one speaks about Fight Club except Unknown Authors Club. You have to make that known.
Okay, exactly. 100%.
That's right, indeed. So if you walk inside a random Facebook group for no reason, it's like, hey, there's a lot of people here. What do you mean y'all are unknown? Don't worry about it.
Yes, that will be found out.
Don't worry, just join a secret society. Don't worry, we have cookies. They have natural sugar, not corn syrup. You'll be fine.
Exactly. Love it.
Well, before the brownies come out for those who actually join the club, any party word before we close up shop, Rachel?
I mean, other than thank you so much. Thanks for chatting. Thanks for doing what you're doing. You are making books and authors known, and I appreciate that. It's always fun to get to talk about our passion project. So thanks so much for even having me on and having this great conversation.
If you're hearing this part of the episode, that means you're one cool individual. Thanks a bunch for tuning in, and if you enjoyed what you heard, be sure to share it with at least one other person in your network. Bonus points for 3. And be sure to check out the backlog too while you're at it, because there are hundreds of wonderful episodes to choose from as well.